Hey YouTube, Jim here. Welcome to Top 10 Archive. Have you ever been ashamed to tell your doctor that you know the exact cause of your stomach pain? Like, you ate those 2 whole boxes of Flintstones cereal? My friend did that once. Stupid, right? Yeah. Well, imagine having to tell your doctor that you have something inside you and they need to get it out ASAP. Well, doctors are full of these stories, and they've become one of the internet's top guilty pleasures. Now, here are the top 10 weirdest things removed from people. If you wind up liking this video, be sure to give it a like and subscribe and click the bell to be notified of other weird videos. What's the weirdest thing that you've ever eaten? Let us know in the comments section.
Number 10. Self-grown mushrooms. Growing your own mushrooms sounds all well and good if you're talking about a vertical garden on the balcony. How about growing them in your own stomach? One woman, after eating mushrooms that weren't soaked or chewed properly, had to pay the ER a visit. Turns out some of the mushrooms grew up to 3 inches long inside of her. The mushrooms became stuck in her stomach, as she often reportedly ate cooked dry mushrooms directly without soaking them and didn't chew them properly. She went to the hospital after suffering from stomachache, where they were able to spot the mushrooms growing. Number 9. Hairball baby. Hairballs feel like things that belong exclusively in cartoons or cat people's houses. In reality, they can also be found in our bodies. An extreme case was recorded in Chicago when an 18-year-old patient with a history of chewing on her hair had a 10-pound hairball removed from her stomach. A 10-pound baby is considered chubby, so imagine a ball of hair. Number 8. Live frogs. Chinese medicine has a mysterious nature about it. Drinking hot water for what ails you? Why not? Putting needles in pressure points? Sign me up. Swallowing live animals? Sure. Wait, what? In China, Yang Dengkai developed the habit of swallowing small animals, mostly frogs and rats. For decades, he convinced others to follow his lead, saying it solved health issues. It's unknown how many people treated their illnesses with Yang theory, but doctors were certainly shocked to find frogs in one of his patients' stomachs during a routine scan. Maybe he should have mentioned that in the consultation. Number 7. A live eel. Animals are a common trend in things that don't belong in our bodies, and though frogs may be gross enough for some, Hong Kong doctors once found something more shocking. In the early 2000s, a man went to a hospital complaining of pain. After a quick examination, doctors were able to find the culprit, an eel 20 inches or over 50 centimeters long. Of course, once it was found, he admitted he may or may not have inserted it into his rectum, but only to relieve his constipation, of course. As if that wasn't bad enough, the eel was still alive and was found biting him during surgery. Though it may sound like Asian folklore, another strikingly similar case was reported in New Zealand in 2012. This is one of those cases where don't knock it till you've tried it certainly does not apply. Number 6. Concrete. A lot of ER visits happen as a result of a couple trying to spice things up in the bedroom. Some people get too intoxicated, hit their heads, dislocate a shoulder or two. This particular couple was way past amateur hour and decided to funnel ready-mixed concrete into one of their rectums. Once the mixture hardened, the pain started to set in. In the doctor's own words, under general anesthesia, the anus was dilated and 2 Foley catheters were inserted alongside the rectal mass to relieve suction. A concrete cast of the rectum was delivered without incident. A layer of concrete was chipped off the upper part of the specimen and revealed a white plastic ping-pong ball. The patient was kept overnight and he was discharged uneventfully the following morning. Number 5. Cockroaches. That's right, the world's biggest gag-inducing animal can make its way into our bodies. In fact, we have 2 particularly disturbing cases. The first is that of an Australian man who awoke with a sharp pain in his ear. In the ER, the forceps inserted into his ear brought out a dead 1-inch cockroach. The second was in India, involving a live cockroach. This one crept into her nose during the night and placed itself between her eyes. The woman was lucky it was still alive, as its death could have caused brain damage. I don't know about you, but I personally will never sleep again. Number 4. Rusty knife. They say no good deed goes unpunished, and there's no better example of this than in the case of Li Fuyan. Fuyan attempted to be the hero during a robbery and was stabbed in the throat in the process. Miraculously, he walked away with only minor bleeding, so he figured the thief had made off with his weapon. That is, until he visited the hospital 3 years later and doctors found it lodged in his skull. Somehow the knife missed every major artery during the attack. Number 3. Fireworks. Big fireworks go up in the sky. Go boom! Fireworks inside of body? Preferably no. At one San Antonio hospital, though, this was the case when a man came in after he accidentally lodged a firework into his leg. The incident was caused by an unexploded firework still lodged in a tube he was lighting from. When he went to go light a new firework, the old one ignited. His leg was noted as severely contaminated and broken. Number 2. A grenade. While firework injuries are fairly common for medical staff, not much prepares them for live military-grade explosives that have also been known to make an appearance inside patients. A soldier in Afghanistan was hit with a grenade in the abdomen, and miraculously, it didn't explode. His fellow soldiers took him to an army hospital and, believe it or not, surgeons and bomb experts were able to remove the device safely. Talk about it not being your time. Number 1. A fetus. At number 1, we have a case that may seem laughable at first, but did we mention the fetus came from that of a man? In India, a man who suffered from a large growth in his abdomen his whole life was suddenly struck with breathing difficulties. The doctors looked to the growth for the answer and found inside not a tumor, but a deceased sibling, a fetus that he had absorbed in the womb. Oh wow, just when I thought my siblings were clingy. Thanks for watching. Remember to like this video, subscribe to the channel, click the bell, and leave a comment about any other weird things you've heard found inside of people. You know, guys, I once put a lima bean up my nose. What? The mic's still on. Oh, good grief.